Hello. Welcome back. Why is my stream BGM not playing? There it is. Hello. Sorry if I sound sad and tired. I've been sick for a few days, with throat hurt, so I don't want to strain myself. I'm mostly better, but knowing me, if I talk above 2 decibels, my throat will snap in half and I'll never speak again. Hello. Oh, I haven't done a drawing stream in a very long time. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing anymore. My pat did zoom in really fast while I get nervous technique. I probably should have thought further on what I was gonna actually do. I do have maybe a vague plan, because I remembered that I have to draw art for a cover, actually. So I might do a little bit of working on that, but just thinking about it is, ooh, it's getting to me, because it's a difficult one. No, I'm not gonna pass out, it's fine, it's fine. I am possibly giving myself a time limit of a couple hours, but I don't think my drawing streams ever really go very long because I hate sitting around and drawing for too long. It's why I'm so slow. Okay, let me... since I've thought of my draw cover art thing, let me actually momentarily cut into the stream. I probably should have done this earlier. I'm gonna get reference images. Okay. Copy paste, copy paste. Gotta be quick about it. Ah, that is a tiny, tiny image. I didn't expect that to be that small. Oh boy. If you recognize this, you know what's coming. What software do I use? I use Clip Studio Paint. I'm actually a little worried because I've gotten... that was a bad selection. I've gotten a new computer, and I don't know if I can get Clip Studio Paint again, because they changed to their subscription service thing, and I don't know if I can re-download it as not subscription service. But currently, at least, I use Clip Studio, because I got it on sale once, as I do most of my everything. Oh god. Oh, looking at this is making me nervous. Oh jeez. Maybe I should pick something easier. Don't expect my version to be nearly as good. What is this person shaped like? I'll make it quick. Dress. Oh man. I'm out of practice, you guys. Well, there's a hand here. I'll figure it out. Okay, that's the shape. The worst part about this is going to be the background. I will most definitely not draw a background on stream, because that would be hours and hours of trial and error. Okay, well that's what this one looks like. What other shapes can I do? How can I do a big drama? Fancy hair. Throw some hair on that. Don't want her to be bald. I'm like freaked out now. Ugh. Why did I decide to do this to myself? I just didn't want to play video games. Oh, but I did mention the new computer. The new computer has been plugged in and turned on as of literally last night. So it works now. I just need to download all of my everything and like get all of my settings and all of my programs. Rambo? I'm vaguely aware of Rambo. That was like a big game of the times quite a while ago. I remember I saw like every single YouTuber playing it for a while there, but I never actually managed to watch or retain any information about it, other than I guess it was spooky. Okay, what am I doing here? I'm just kind of scribbling. I should probably do thumbnails like a real artist, honestly. Puzzles. Scary. The puzzles are scarier than the horror. I'm just gonna make a few of these. I will give myself options. Okay. Also, if I get sick of this, I may just switch to doodling anything else. Okay. I feel like my background music is very, very quiet. Why is my background music so quiet? Turn that up. Get some tunes in there. Now I have to get all my windows up again. Okay. So the main portions of this are big painting, sad girl, then a bunch of other stuff in the background. Oh no. And this is why you should always plan your streams. I can absolutely relate to being dumb and stubborn. Whenever I'm playing a puzzle game, I'm like, I choose my solution, my favorite solution, and then I'm like, okay, I'll do this 10 times, and if it doesn't work after 10 times, I'm giving up, and I'm looking at a walkthrough. Okay, concept number 1. Getting all up close and personal. I accidentally selected a color. Don't do that. Getting up close and personal with the painting. Clenching your hands about it. This is not going to be anatomically correct at all. Oh no, now my dog is mad. Neighbor, why did you have to come home and close your car door? While I'm streaming, no less. I think I should probably do more from the back, actually. Throw in an ear to remind myself of where this person is facing. Honestly, it kind of just looks like they're trying to move a really big canvas. We'll get there eventually. Maybe more dramatic, like, oh, woe is me type of pose. Man, I'm gonna get rid of the stupid thumbnails and rectangles. is it? Where are they? What layer are they on? Get me out of this crazy place. Get out of here. Oh, all those extra lines that I drew. Whenever I try to draw a thumbnail like a real professional, I always feel like I have to draw a little rectangle around it. Then it always ends up backfiring. Maybe I should be like leaning up against a wall or something. And then just on the floor. Implied floor. That's marginally better. Quiet Place game? Like the movie, or is there just another game that just so happens to be Quiet Place related? I know there's that one game that, I'm not sure if it actually came out, but I know it was in beta where it's like, if you make any noise, the creature gets you. I don't know if it's related to Quiet Place. I also haven't actually seen that movie. My sister saw it and she gave me the general synopsis, so... That's most of my knowledge. God, the floor isn't level. Move that up. And there's gonna have to be a bunch of detritus. God, I don't understand how people draw actual detailed backgrounds. It's crazy. An easel, but like, what do easels look like? I went to art school for 4 years. It's from the movie, pretty much just different characters, same theme. I was not aware of that. We'll pretend that this is what an easel looks like. Actually, I'm looking around my room, I'm like, do I have an easel? I don't. Vague easel shape. Okay. Whatever those look like. I'll Google it later. I should probably make it smaller. It looks a little over large. I'll cut it out first. Oop. Because ideally this would have to fit in YouTube video size. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. I am still going to fiddle with it though. You're quiet for a long time, your throat starts hurting. It sounds like the opposite of the usual issue. If I talk for longer than like half an hour, I start to get throat pain. I was not built for talking, and yet, for some reason I subject myself to it twice a week. Okay, well, that's idea number one. I'm gonna remove this. This is just taking up space. I want to try to be original for once, gosh darn it. Let's rectangle that off from the world. I did not need to do that. So much of my sketching thing this process is just making lines that I don't need to make. Trying to fill up time. I could also just go a little silly with it. I have it like a drawing desk. Like actually in real life. I could just draw me collapsed on my drawing desk. The ennui. It even has like a dramatic spotlight arm. Might not fit with the vibe, but I'm doing it anyway because I thought of it, so why not? We can make it look more old-timey. Dramatic spotlight moment. Okay, sometimes my pen just like disappears for no reason. Ah! Oh my god, everything is going wrong, you guys. He's randomly switching me to eraser when I am not pressing the eraser button. I'm not- why? I'm not looking head on at my drawing desk, so I don't really remember what else. Close enough. What matters is the idea. How does one draw somebody collapsed over a drawing desk? I should draw the rest of its feet. Or legs, whatever you would call them. Do not try to figure out if the perspective on this is correct. Everything's fine. This is so undramatic. Sad. This is absolutely not gonna be the final version, but I've already started it, so I might as well finish it. Oh no, me every night in college. Dumb, silly. Let's make that smaller. That got really big. Okay. Every hour is sad artist hours. I always end up liking the very first thing that I draw more than anything else. So I might as well just keep this one. I have my background music playing in my ears, so I'll probably occasionally stop to dance to it a little bit. Or I'll eventually get just like really mad listening to a 3-minute loop and take out my headphones. 50-50. I could also do more like of a scary one. Big pointy knife. Looking directly at you. I really need to figure out what button I'm pressing that moves the entire canvas. Despite the fact that I've been using Clip Studio for a million billion years, and by a million billion years I mean like maybe 4 years, I still don't remember what the keyboard shortcuts are ever. All I know is B for brush. Let's move it up somewhere. It's a little better. Looks like a flex. I don't know what a natural hand position for this would be. Scary cuts through the canvas, and also they're bleeding. I might separate this. Long. Yeah. I want to figure out a way to like put the hand holding it on the other side or something. I'm not sure which way is the most natural way to do that. Poses are hard. My favorite pose is cute girl looking directly at you, standing still. Despite the fact that the original one is probably standing up, I appear to be very stuck on the sitting on the floor thing. Probably just because I like drawing a big dress moved out onto the floor. Just playing Undertale again and got put down like a dog by Sam. I've actually never played Undertale, though I feel like the experience would be ruined if I tried to because it was everywhere. So I already know everything that happens in it, really. I know all the lore. This arm feels too long. Let's just erase some of that. background music isn't very fitting for this situation. Just making sure those are all on the same layer. The important part is getting the idea down, and I can worry about it making sense later. It is always kind of disappointing to like try and draw an interesting pose from behind or whatever, but then having to cover it all with long hair. But short hair just doesn't have the same vibe. It's not as dramatic. His head is also too big. Ah, Skyrim. Another scary Bethesda game. Scary as in it would probably break my computer. I think if I were to play Skyrim, I would just end up not doing the main storyline because I'd be too afraid of fighting dragons or whatever you have to do, and I'd just be the guy that, like, has a lovely Skyrim wife and a house full of trees. Yeah, if it's easy to get lost, I would absolutely get horribly lost. I saw a video where this guy walked through the entirety of Skyrim and like figured out where all of their rivers go. Like where they all end up and where they start, and what like the water source of Skyrim is. And I looked at his YouTube channel. He has like a bunch of other videos of just following rivers in video games, and one of like following all of the power lines in Grand Theft Auto to figure out where they lead. It's quite the YouTube niche to have. I did watch several of the videos though, so he did get me. That doesn't look threatening. I mean, it doesn't really need to, but the shape looks weird is my point. I'll probably end up having to draw stuff in a background and it's making me scared. I fully forget what his name was. I'm so bad at remembering names. If you like just search like following Skyrim's rivers or something, I'm sure it'll come up. It seems like a pretty niche topic. Ah, 10 hours. Scary. I haven't managed to do a 10-hour stream yet, which is probably a good thing for my health and sanity. I think the longest I went was like 7.5, which is too many, honestly. Just put this up against a wall or something. It's something to lean against. Look at all those things. This is really well done, though. I don't understand. A couple of like paint tube shapes in there to suggest that I will draw clutter eventually. I just realized those are kind of evil shapes. Don't look at that. That looks more like a paint tube. Probably. Paintbrush in there for good measure. Which direction would a paintbrush look best? It's terrible. Doesn't matter. It's a sketch, it's fine. Honestly, I could maybe do both. The original video for this has multiple, like, expressions or whatever. So I could do turning away sad at the canvas and then looking directly at you if I want. I love drawing random lines, it's my favorite. I feel like I make the canvas a little too wide this way. It's a horrible scribble. Perspective. My mortal enemy. I think it's its own special layer that I'm gonna turn off. Just gonna try to, like, momentarily recreate it. And the legs are covered up by the dress and everything, so it's not that big of a deal if you don't know how to draw them. Hello! Welcome! Sorry if I'm quiet and boring. I am recovering from throat hurt, so I don't want to talk too much. With a big puppy sleeve. A good old leg of mutton, as they are actually for real called. Okay, I was, you've given me an opportunity to get, like, scared. I saw your comment that you made, and I thought it was a banger comment, but I didn't know what to say to it. So I just kind of left it there, and I was like, I'll think of something, right? I'll think of like a fun, cool, witty thing to oh god. Brain damage, brain damage. I don't know what further to say about that. Oh god, no, I'm not thinking straight. I'm having a woman moment, dude. Also, sometimes YouTube will just like, I'll see a comment, and then I'll like say, oh, I'll respond to it later, and then I'll check back, and then it's gone, and I think YouTube sometimes just randomly disappears them, so I was like, did it get disappeared? Or am I a bad person for like not coming up with a response that was good? But, thought experiments are fun. I like a good thought experiment. None of them make any sense to me, but I'm glad the philosophers are having a good time with it. Nothing is ever too silly. Don't worry about it. I like... This is probably stupid, but I felt like bad. I was like, oh no. Did I like quietly bully somebody into deleting a comment by accident? Brain damage, brain damage. This is the complete wrong direction for a head to be facing. Slightly towards the camera. This is the wrong shape for the head. I don't think it's correct, but whatever. Ugh. Actual photo of me right now. Okay. Why is my dog extra upset today? I don't know if you can hear him. But I will apologize nevertheless. This probably needs to just be moved to the side a little bit. And also probably squished. That's probably fine. It's not really the correct pose either. I'm so bad at copying things just from looking at them. I think I'm doing well, and then I actually look back at it and I'm like, oh, I'm a fool actually. Proportions are off somehow. Something needs to be bigger or smaller. When in doubt, stretch things out. Whatever. Whatever, it's fine. One of the worst parts about my silly cartoon hair is that I don't know how to draw it in a serious situation. It's mostly normal and then it's just like a little toothpaste tube, like swirl shape. Why'd that happen? Don't do that. Okay, and this one, the scary knife is pointed away from the face. Safety first, everybody. Is it actually a knife? Yeah, or like a letter opener or something. Wasn't sure if it was like a real knife or a palette knife or something. Pointy, scary. It doesn't even matter. There's not enough torso on this girl. This poor woman some more torso. I don't need to transform it, I can just move it. Actually, no, I might need to transform it. Will that look any better? Possibly not. Scooch it down that way. Seems like the actual one has more vote, well, with not that, but like out like this type of thing. I don't know why, but I'm like, what if dramatic hand? I mean, that's not where the thumb would go. But like dramatic hand, grasp it out of the canvas. It's like an excessively large dramatic hand. Maybe not that dramatic. Don't pay attention to the anatomy. Is that even how? Now I'm like tricking myself maybe into thinking that hands don't look the way that I think they look. I never remember how to draw hands. No, that looks incorrect. Okay, I'm going with my gut. I do not want to have to stand up and go dramatically grasp a canvas to see if I'm correct about which direction thumbs point. I don't know why I always default to putting them the wrong way. For many a year, that was one of my main anatomy problems, was I was always forget which way hands go. As if I didn't have two perfectly good ones right in front of me. Just kind of be there behind the hair. Erase some lines to show that it is in the background. How do I feel about Subnautica? I don't believe I have any strong emotions towards Subnautica. I'm sure if I played it I would get very, very scared because there are big creatures that chase you through the dark. Despite all the people I've seen play it, like, I don't know if I actually know anything about the story. I'm fairly certain it has a story, I'm not sure exactly what that story is. Whenever I see people play it, I just kinda watch a couple hours of them doing basic tasks, and then I get sick of it, and then I stop. This Skyrim River guy is sick. Guy just watched the video. It's cool. I love it when people investigate things that don't need investigating at all. Gosh, drawing a beautiful muse on canvas in this piece. Well, it seems that the original woman is drawing herself and her husband, who, I don't know, probably left her and she's really mad about it. And sad also, hence the tears. I don't know what I should be drawing on my canvas exactly. Fan art of me and the Hat Man, but it can never be. Sadly, I am only in a parasocial relationship with the Hat Man. I did go through the phase that all young artists do, where you just draw everybody with like their hands behind their backs or whatever. That was a thing that I did for quite a while. Middle school. Then I was like, I can't really do that many poses with people just like hands behind their back. Really the only way to draw somebody with their hands behind their back is them standing like, hee hee, it's me, or like put their hands in like a sweatshirt pocket, and then you have like maybe 3 more pose options to do. Eventually, I did have to submit to drawing hands. I remember, like, in middle school I found this one artist on Tumblr who I really liked the way that she drew hands, so I just copied every drawing of like hands that she did for like a month. Every time she posted a drawing I'd be like, sick, a new hand! And that's not what a hand looks like. And then I kind of generally learned how they're drawn. Although I never quite got over accidentally drawing them backwards. I'm not gonna mess with it. That's fine. Whatever. Mostly this is me stalling from having to figure out what a background will look like. This one can go in a separate layer or a folder. Yay. Close those. How well does this match up? Sufficiently. Not perfectly. But if I wanted it to be perfect— ah! Oh my god, what just happened? All of my windows just appeared on my screen. Did that break anything? No, it did not. Oh, thank god. It is very hard to find a color that will let me actually see this. Blue. The bright. I mean, things are generally in the correct place. Make that small again. Oh no, I disappeared, chat. Okay, it's back. He has very, very violent cross-hatching. Just don't get it. It's an important part of her artistic process. Oh my god, just thinking about drawing a proper background is giving me heart palpitations. I'm getting scared. Every time we disappear, we cease to exist. So true. God, you're so right. I have no object permanence, so every time chat disappears, I'm like, where'd they go? Oh my god, they're dead. This is way more of the dress than would actually be drawn. If this were to be like YouTube video sized. In the process of cutting a piece out of canvas. Actually, art imitates life. I had to cut up one of my canvases well, not a while ago, a few days ago, because it took up so much space, and also I hated the painting on it. And this is something I did in my first year of college for my obligatory painting class. And it was probably the worst painting I did in that entire painting class because it was my final and I was like scared about it. So it ended up really ugly, and then it was just like sitting in my room for like a long while because I didn't really know what to do with it. And a couple days ago I just cut the whole thing off of the like wooden backing and rolled it up. Finally. I don't know why I didn't do that a million years ago. I was originally going to take out the canvas staples, but I couldn't find a staple remover. And I went out and bought a staple remover, and it was too flimsy to remove the heavy-duty canvas staples, so I just cut it out with an X-Acto knife. What grade did I get on it? No, I don't remember. It was one of those like critique classes. So you had to, everybody in the class, all like 20 people in the class, all got together and sat in front of everybody's paintings and critiqued them. So I had to be like publicly humiliated for my really bad painting because I'm not a good painter. I'm not sure if it was really like a number or letter grade or anything. I don't know why I did that. I just know that it wasn't good, but I did at least pass the class. I got a good enough grade in the class as a whole to be able to go on to my second year of college. I think I did well enough in all of my other paintings throughout that year. Like I did passably, that the teacher was just like, yeah, she can keep going. You don't have to hold her back or anything. I don't even know if they hold people back in college. I'm just kind of assuming out of fear that if it were to happen to anybody, it would most definitely happen to me. The point is, I passed! I'm still really sad though, because I think the best painting that I did in that entire class was literally the first one that I did. Because it was all grayscale, so it was easier. But once we started getting into colors, like, I started getting confused. Because we were doing oil painting, and oil painting is very squishy. Like, you can't really make hard lines or anything. I'm just leaving it like that. I don't care. You can't really make hard lines or anything because it takes so long to dry. Like, we had the class twice a week, I think, and it would sometimes take a whole week for the canvas to dry completely. So I would paint something one day and then I'd come back to the class like 2 or 3 days later and it would still be wet and I would try to paint on it and it would just smudge. And I'd be like, no, all my hard work. That's why I like drawing on the computer, because nothing smudges unless I tell it to. Okay, well, we have a few okay sketches, I guess. What's everybody's favorite? Vote now on your phones. 1, 2, 3. I mean, I put the most juice into number 3, but that's just because I was able to have something to copy. I do kind of like 1. I like all of them, honestly. 3 fan. Yeah. What do you do? You have to Scalpy on the canvas. I want that twink obliterated. Got a bunch of holes in him. You might be able to kind of like, merge them. Or use more than one. I don't know. I'll see. I'm not actually sure if this is the kind of thing that I could actually complete on a stream. Already I have too many layers to keep track of, and by too many layers I mean literally like 3 of them. My brain's a little fried. I'm just gonna keep moving things around aimlessly. I haven't quite decided what will go on the canvas yet. Who knows? I may just cop out and do a bunch of like blurry scribbles that vaguely suggest the human form or something. Just really soak in the skill on the reference image. Pretend I drew that. Imagine. Okay. They're important background elements. I don't like to do like a complete one-to-one of something when I'm redrawing it, because then it feels a little lame. Feels like cheating. And I want to keep some of the major stuff. Okay. Second canvas. Doesn't even matter. Big main canvas. Table. And just pretend that the table only has 4 legs. Okay. A drawer of art supplies? Sure. Skill. It just looks like really bad stairs. vase or vase. Bunch of paintbrushes sticking out of it. I'm gonna make my canvas bigger. Okay. All this background stuff, I'm gonna have to like stretch and move around and everything. Just to get it visible. With that a little like forward and down. Mayhaps. Is that like a flat wall? Hard to say. I just realized there's like a big canvas covered in fabric. Let's throw that back there as well. In a slightly different spot. Ooh. So I can draw some fabric draping. Ignore the fact that my fabric draping sketch is going to be really bad. I promise I'm pretty good at fabric draping. One of the few things that I was pretty good at and my teachers complimented me on. I feel like every time I do an art stream it just turns into me complaining about college. Throw that on another easel. That's what an easel looks like, sure. Is that like on the floor? That's got some long legs. What is going on here? How big is this room? How much stuff did the Victorians cram into their home? I'm also suddenly being afflicted with runny nose. Why am I getting sicker by the minute? Move that down. While leaning against the wall lower. Where would this go? There's too many things. Put that in a completely different area. Overlapping. Whatever. Status effect. I've been poisoned. And then the amount that would probably actually be like in the image is like this much. Ish. Fill that in with a color. This is approximately the area that I would need to actually figure out how to draw. I don't know what I'm doing. That's the wrong color. Okay, there. We have a vague sketch. I've at least made some progress. And it only took a whole hour. I'm gonna just get rid of the 3. Let's embiggen that a little bit. It needs to be even bigger! I actually haven't saved this entire time. Give me a moment to save. I was really living on the edge there. There's a whole hour of drawing. I could have just deleted all of that with one misclick. Phew, everyone breathe a sigh of relief. Actually, right before stream, I was moving around a bunch of windows, and I had like 15 tabs open on Firefox, as I often do, and I accidentally X'd out the window, and I couldn't get all of my tabs back, and I had to go back in my history for like the past month to find all of the tabs that I had open. Have a good dinner. I hope you enjoy your dinner. I hope you're having a good dinner. And thank you. Every time I close too many browser tabs, I like feel a crushing loss. Okay, let's make that lighter. Okay, I'm gonna make that just a whole new file, just so that I don't have to keep looking at it through transparencies. I'll just go back and forth. Breaded pork with noodles in a bowl and sweet and sour. Nice, nice. Legitimately forgot what I just had for dinner like literally 2 hours ago. Steak and rice. That's it. It took me a second. I'm so bad at remembering. I do remember the like 3 to 4 separate snacks that I had immediately after dinner. Those were more impactful to my life. Okay, what am I doing? Second sketch time, yay! Time to figure out all my horrible anatomical inconsistencies that I've made. Okay. Average shape. That's alright. That's an okay shape, I think. What kind of sleeve does this one have? Oh no, not a gather and a ruffle. Those are difficult. I don't know if that looks good at all. It's a little bit evil. A little bit maybe. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember quite what this particular song is about that I'm drawing for. I know that it's sad. The title is Erica's Sorrow, so it's probably another sad Eilis song. Everybody acts surprised. But I don't actually remember what the translation is. I just know that it's like depression. Depression the song. As they so often are with me. I promise I'm mostly mentally healthy, I just like sad music. This is gonna be covered up by hair, so I don't care how it looks. I promise. I'm so mentally well. Three-quarter view is hard. Everything is hard. But whatever I'm doing currently right now at this moment is the hardest. No matter what. That's probably fine. At least for second sketch territory. Might have to make the chin a little not pointy. Ah. That's a little better. That's a bit more Eilis-esque. When I draw like clothes with like big poofy sleeves, I have done so a few times in the past, but when I've done it, I always am like, is the head too small or is the sleeve just cartoonishly large? And it's like dwarfing the actual anatomy of this person. People wear some crazy clothes back in the day. Wait, I want to look up an actual picture of leg of mutton sleeves. Just, I need to prove to you that they're very large. And prove to both you and myself, honestly. Where's some ye olden times women wearing big poofy sleeves? Please, internet, do not show me a normal puff sleeve on a modern woman. I want to look at somebody from like 1885. Why are these all modern day? Whatever, here's a... It doesn't have a person's head in it, but it has a mannequin body. Thank you, Alamy stock photo. Look at this giant sleeve. That's enormous. It's big. Like, imagine like a normal sized human head. I don't know, is that a normal sized human head? Why are you not... Oh, that's why. I don't know, that's like probably a mostly normal... That's like 2 heads. That's like 1.5 heads maybe. What are people shaped like again? People were just wearing anything back in the day. I respect it. Yeah, the bigger the sleeves, the fancier you are. I like those old, I'm not sure if they're like, I don't know, political cartoons, but like newspaper cartoons where men were like making fun of women's fashion of whatever year it was. And it was just like back when bustles were popular, they were like, this is how women must be shaped under there. People did wear powdered wigs for a time. I'm not sure if if it was exactly in the same timeline as people wearing leg of mutton sleeves. I'm not incredibly well versed on the exact timeline of fashion history. But powdered wigs were a thing for a while. Back in the early America days in the 1700s. Possibly earlier than that, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not gonna mess with that. As a 1920s girly, I think the only fashion I could speak, like, relatively intelligently on is that. And I mean, like, relatively as in, like, relative to the intelligence of, like, a sea sponge. Like, I'm marginally smarter than a sea sponge about that. I got very, very into the 1920s for a time. And honestly, I still am. Sometimes it still rears its ugly head. I made a few, like, characters that existed in the 1920s that I, like, wrote about for a while. I like to pretend that I'm, like, some kind of artist-author type of person. I'm gonna free transform that. Actually, in college, I took a creative writing class, and I gave in for, like, every week we picked a different member of the class to, like, read something that they had written and critique it, and when it came my turn to be embarrassed in public, I gave in a little scene that I had written of my people in the 1920s, and I got a lot of compliments. I was very happy about it. So I hold on to that. One of the few things I've done right in my life. I was told that my dialogue was very natural, and I will never forget it. Like, when I have a bad day, when I'm having a woman moment, I'm like, yeah, but you know, that one guy in college said that my dialogue was really natural, so at least I have that going for me. Fancy squiggly handle on that. I'll figure it out later. Yeah! I'm glad you have found an art that you presumably like and are good at. That's always nice. Pixel art is hard. I tried to figure out how to do it at one point, and I just cannot work with it. But it's always very impressive when I see it done well. There's this one guy that I watch on YouTube who, once again, I forget his name. He's a very, very good pixel artist. I like him. I'm gonna actually, I'll look him up. I don't know if you may have possibly heard of him. I'm going to go into my YouTube subscriptions. Aha, I remembered his name correctly when I just looked it up. Brandon James Greer. He's actually working on a game, I think. That is, I don't know when it's coming out, but he has spoken of it. And I love watching him, like, his videos. They're all really, like, informative. And also very, very pretty. I tried to follow along with some of his pixel stuff, but I just do not have the required skill set. Yeah, high heels are scary. I'm not a fan of a high heel. They actually, like, warp the bones in your feet if you wear them too much, which is deeply terrifying to me. I think the only time that I ever wore high heels, like, for any length of time was, like, my high school prom. And even then they were like this. Like they weren't any sort of real heel. I'm not gonna mess with that right now. How's this looking? That's fine. This sleeve is actually probably kind of messed up. Not really imperative that that be there. Honestly, hair might come down this way and cover it, but just do have. And this is too large. I give my character such big, meaty arms and hands. I'm not capable of drawing a dainty feminine lady. They all gotta have big meaty claws. I love drawing a character staring directly at the camera. I don't know why. This woman is not staring anywhere near the camera. And yet. You ever want to be deeply scared about the ways that the human body can be deformed? Look up information on foot binding. That's scary. I looked that up once on a whim, and I was like, oh, I'll never get that innocence back. Oh, the images are flashing in my brain. You can do a lot of stuff to a person if you hold them in a position for long enough. foot binding was like a thing that they did in China for quite a length of time. I don't remember exactly the length of time because it's been a while since I looked it up. But it's like small feet were considered very attractive and like feminine. So people would just like wrap girls' feet in like various bindings. And like they wore really teeny tiny shoes and like they were completely just warped into like basically a spiral. It was very scary. I regret my decision. Me too, buddy. But now you know an interesting historical fact. So now you can force that knowledge on others. I'm gonna undo that. That doesn't feel correct. That might be a little better. Historians absolutely have some crazy lore. And I'm sure in the future there'll be something that we do that we think is like a regular normal thing to do. And people will be talking about it like we were nuts. Or like, hey, did you ever hear about this like wild and crazy obscure thing that they were doing in 2020? What strange times they were in. They were doing this thing where women go on the internet and like pretend to be cartoon characters. It's nuts. Glad we don't live in that time anymore. Now this looks like it's like shaped weird. Whatever, it's only sketch number 2. Figure it out at some point. Looks a little bit like I have like a 60s like beehive type of thing going on. Squish that down a bit. That's excessive. I started so confidently with the sleeve shape, and now that I'm getting to the hair and the head and stuff, I'm starting to get nervous. I'm not gonna delete that just yet, actually. I think that's the reason it looks weird. Grandchildren in 2060 finding out their grandparents are VTubers. What a thought. It's already, like, weird to me that... I don't know if it's really the golden age, but in my mind, the golden age of, like, YouTubers, like, they're having children and stuff, currently. Like, when PewDiePie had a child, I was like, oh my god, is this allowed? It feels incorrect. That kid's gonna grow up and be like, yeah, my dad's PewDiePie. Nuts. Wild and crazy. When do you think we'll get the first YouTuber president? Which YouTuber do you think will become president of the United States first? Like, in what year? Total Biscuits. I'm actually not familiar with Total Bis. I've heard the name, but I don't really know anything about the guy. Does France have a YouTuber president? I'm not up on French politics. Is that a thing? We gotta wait, like, these YouTubers now, like the oldest YouTubers now are, I don't know, like 40. A president has to be at least 70 before they can be president of the United States. We will elect old people only. His dad dies when he's 9 and told this guy's like 15 years of YouTube content uploaded. Jeez. Imagine, like, getting to know your deceased parent through their YouTube history. Not history as in, like, videos watched history, but, like, upload history. You might develop, like, a parasocial relationship with the past version of your parent. And this guy was on COD YouTube. Jeez. Modern times, you guys. It's crazy. Yeah, the actual rule is 30, but everybody is always like, old guys only. I don't know who the youngest American president was. I feel vaguely like maybe somebody in their, like, late 40s, but I'm not particularly aware. Well, it was like George Washington 30 when they forced him to be president against his will? Or is there some other reason? Or is it perhaps a Rome thing? Educate me. I would love to learn. I don't need to be doing this much on the hair. That may or may not even be that shape when I'm done with it. I'm stalling again, you guys. Theodore Roosevelt at 42. Well, Teddy is a good president to be the youngest one, I think. As far as I'm aware, he was generally an okay dude. Or at least he didn't do anything too horribly evil that they bothered to tell me about it in history class. George Washington, poor man, was just getting pushed around his whole life. Forced to join the Navy, forced to be president. Give the man a break. Just a vague line here, but I'm not really sure what shape that should be. I'll figure it out. I'm getting random notifications on my phone. What is happening? Stop buzzing. You're distracting me from my very important art. I'm not gonna worry myself too much over if this is actually straight. Right now, I can do that later. That's probably good enough. Oh no, it's coming for me. What other things can I do to the clothes to distract myself? Throw a corset on that. I should probably actually be like disappeared and then move this up further. When I'm doing the actual real version of this that isn't just a glorified sketch, I should probably look up, like, old clothes. Throw some extra ruffles on there, why not? Everybody loves a good scalloped edge. Some sort of, I don't know, art apron. It's not in the original, but I thought of it. Don't want to get paint all over your nice fancy wedding dress, question mark? Whatever, it's something. There's some random scribbles on this to imply that there is lace. we... Great. Looks like either hairy arms or scales. We'll fix it in post. 30 years old for the president is a Rome thing. You have to be 30 to get into the Senate. Wisdom don't want those young senators write laws with the wisdom of the older senators, but in reality it was the oldest dudes have all the power. my wisdom is you should let me make all the rules in your stead. Ain't that always the way? I need to readjust. I've been like sitting on top of one of my legs for too long. Starting to lose blood flow. I'm going to atrophy. How does one draw a mouth? I always feel like I'm putting the mouth in the wrong place, no matter where I put it. It always feels slightly incorrect. There's probably something about the way that I draw faces that has like weird proportions or something. It's probably fine. I won't touch it, because if I touch it, something bad will happen. I should also probably save. I keep forgetting to do that. Scary. We'll worry about it later. Let's get a vague background at least. So that I feel like I did something with my life. Okay. PG. Center shares the same word with senex, which means wise man at best or senile man at worst. Just old. Sometimes old crazy people will say something so old and crazy that it loops back around to being profound and deep and meaningful. I want my present to be decided on Fortnite 1v1. I think that should be the new way they do it. Whoever's the most elite gamer gets to run the entire country. We need to get, instead of like first female president, we need first VTuber president, like first anime girl president, and first Fortnite gamer president, the two genders. This is not nearly as thick as a canvas should be. Let's embiggen that a little bit. Canvases should not be on flimsy particle board. If it came to Kim Jong-un beat Trump in Fortnite, Kim would win because he must have more spare time to game. I mean, that is probably true. He doesn't have to actually, like, run the country or campaign for stuff or anything. He just gets to be the boss. No matter what, by default. So he would likely have more free time in which to get really good at video games. An idle VTuber could rally the entire nation. I think so too. There would be fan chants for the president. Have you seen the video of the like past like 3 or 4 American presidents talking about who their Kamiyoshi is? 'Cause, like, with the AI voices, that's probably one of my new favorite, not really new, like it's been around for a little while, but it's probably one of my more recent favorite videos on the internet. It feels too real. I feel like they would probably have those conversations. Running a country with an iron fist is time consuming, but it is also rewarding, and the rewards come in different flavors, such as Fortnite. Hatsune Miku. I want Hatsune Miku to be the president. I think she could do it. We just need to get rid of the rules that they have to be human and 30 or above and like from America. But those aren't important. Miku versus Teto for the American presidency. Kind of just randomly scribbling this. I honestly don't know if this is correct at all. What is it like here? Yeah, it's just kind of a flat thing. Okay. I'm gonna delete all of this. Okay. This is the flat part that actually holds it up, and the rest of it is just kind of extraneous. It'll be a bitter painting season. I think that would heal the world, actually. Cadmium colors. I've actually not heard this English. I don't listen to a lot of English, like vocal synth music a lot of the time. I kind of have like a sort of preconceived bias that they're all like kind of either like edgy in a way that I don't really care about, or like club music, which I also don't really care about. I'm sure there's a lot of good ones, but I do not often get exposed to them. I will check it out. I'm not sure if I could say very specific tastes about my vocal synth music, because I do listen to a lot of different kinds. But there are just certain, like, trends that back when I was listening more to the English stuff, like when I was in middle school probably, they all seemed kind of samey to me. So I just got bored of them, and I started listening to the Japanese stuff. I did, because it was, like, bombarding me with YouTube recommendations, I did listen to that song, Butcher's Vanity, that, I'm not sure if it was very recent, but recent enough that it became a meme, or whatever. That was fun. I love a good murder cannibal song. I do love a good Teto though. Ever since Triple Baka. She's been my girl. I remember this is like a thing that I'm not even sure if it was like real or not, because the website disappeared so suddenly. But the first website that I actually heard Vocaloid music on was not, in fact, YouTube or anything of the sort. It was this like old music website that had like, it would give you lyrics and stuff. It was called ilike.com. And I remember several years ago I tried to go on to ilike.com because it was where I first heard, I think, my first Vocaloid songs ever. It's like a toss-up between three of them. It was either Triple Baka, World Is Mine, or like, I think maybe Romeo and Cinderella or something. And I heard them all for the first time on ilike.com. And that website is gone now, I think. I was so sad about it, because I remember I really liked that website. It wasn't even like a particularly, like, great website. It was just one of the first websites where I listened to music that was not, like, on the radio. So it had a special place in my heart, and then one day it just disappeared. every once in a while I'll like remember some place that I used to go on the old internet, and I'll try to get back to it, and it will just lead me to like an empty like buy this domain page, and I'll get really sad. Is that anything? Yeah, that's probably okay. Tried to find an old pay-to-win game on the browser I thought Steve was into. Darn. Life is hard. I wasn't even really on the old internet. I just call it the old internet because it was like pre-current social media landscape or whatever. We do need time travel, I agree. I want to go back. I want to return. If only just so that I can actually save all of the media that disappeared from my life. I remember me and my little sister made a bunch of videos on kidsbop.com back when kidsbop.com was like social media but for children, and all of those are gone now. I'm kind of sad about it, even though they were like really cringe and bad. And like I like.com and what are some other like random websites? I don't know. I'm bad with remembering things. I just have the general feeling. Yeah, Kidsbot, I think probably still has a website, but I remember back when I was using it, it was basically just like YouTube and Instagram and Facebook like for children, like all rolled into one. So you could upload like little videos, and you could upload like pictures and text posts and stuff. It really was basically just like Facebook for children. But now it's just an advertisement for Kids Bop, the music, quote unquote. Which is kind of sad, because I remember me and my sister made like, we were trying to be iCarly. So we tried to make like funny comedy videos, but it was just the two of us in like our computer room. Trying desperately to be witty. And I remember one time I tried to make this is gonna be cringe, bear with me, a Sonic the Hedgehog themed isekai type of video series. Because one day I had like 3 of my friends over, and I was like, wouldn't it be crazy and super cool and interesting and fun of us if we just like wrote a script of us getting transported into Sonic the Hedgehog world and turned into various Sonic the Hedgehog-esque OCs. And we got like 3 episodes in before we ran out of ideas, but they were all up on kidspop.com and now they're lost media. Nick Isekai posting on Kidspop. It was certainly a time in my life, because it was when Sonic X was really popular. I think probably just because the images, like the screenshots, were pretty clean and easy for children to like MS Paint draw over. So you could like make your own totally original Sonic Recolor OC Do Not Steal. And I made a bunch of them. And I was like, God, I'm such a good artist. It was just like I recolored Cream the rabbit to be a dog. And there was like, and this is my Sonic OC Cookie the dog. That wasn't her real name. I don't remember what her name was. When you say isekai, does it have anything to do with getting hit by a truck? No, I was not yet aware of the get hit by a truck isekai. I only say isekai because the plot line was that one day me and my friends are standing around doing child things I don't remember, and a mysterious portal opens up and sucks everybody in, and then suddenly we are in Sonic the Hedgehog world. And I think my character was like a cat, and one of my friends was a dog, and the other one was like a squirrel or something. But that was about as far as I got with, like, fandom content. After I did that, I never did fandom content again because I got self-conscious. I became a real thinking person, and I got self-conscious about what I put on the internet. Every child really does yearn to be isekai'd. I remember one of my, like, main, like, fantasies as a child was, I read these books. They were very, like, girly child books, so I'm not sure if anybody here would be aware of them. It was, Avalon Web of Magic, which was a very good series that I still quite like, actually. Just, like, for concept. And the main, like, I don't know, the first thing that happens, really, in the plot— I'm gonna delete this because I hate it, I've decided. The first thing that happens in the plot is that, these 3 girls find, like, magic rocks. And at first they look like regular rocks, they're just, like, totally normal rocks. And then they take them home, and they, like, sleep, and they wake up, and then in the morning, the rocks have, like, transformed, that they're, like, beautiful glowing crystals, and the girls find out that they have magical powers and they need to, like, save the land of fairy or whatever. But, like, every time I saw an interesting rock on the ground for, like, a long while, and kind of maybe still subconsciously, I was like, what if this is my Avalon Web of Magic rock, though? Like, what if this is the one? Which maybe possibly started my rock collecting thing that I do. So everything has a ripple effect. It all makes sense now. They were really, like, quite— I'm not sure if they're, like, good, like, technically good or whatever, but they were very fun, engaging little stories. They had, like, a overarching plot that, like, made sense. There was a lot of, like, drama, and, like, for a 12-year-old, a lot of drama and intrigue and, like, politics in the land of fairy. And I really liked them. They were really good. You gotta find your Avalon rock. It's still out there. I have so many rocks. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'll ever find my Avalon rock. That series also did have another forever effect in my brain. There was this character named Ozzy, and he was an elf. Or some other similar elf-like creature. I'm not sure exactly what they called him. But it was basically like a Magical Girl series, but American. So his role was that he went to the regular human world to, like, teach these girls how to use their magic, basically. But because elves couldn't be in the regular human world, he had to get turned into a ferret. So he was basically just their, like, magical girl mascot character. And, like, his particular character type made me just, like, obsessed with, like, creature gets turned into another creature and has to deal with the consequences type of storylines. Which is, like, a highly specific storyline. But there's a good amount of it out there. To quench my thirst. Bar for bar Magical Girls, pretty much. Yeah. It was Magical Girls before Magical Girls for me, because I hadn't yet started watching anime. They did eventually actually make a like, Western manga version of it. I'm not sure if it was actually the original story. I don't think it was. I think it was, like, side stories featuring some of the same and some different characters. But they did make a quote-unquote manga out of it at some point, although I think I only had one of them, because eventually I sort of grew out of it. not sure if this makes any logical sense. I'll figure out actual real perspective later. This is such a big image. My goodness. What does this thing look like? Oh god, there's a whole other section up there that I forgot about. This really shouldn't be as, like, viewing in. This should be, like, up further. Oog. Pain. Unless I move it downwards, in which case, technically it's okay. Let's see. I'll leave it where it is, and I'll figure it out eventually. I don't know why I pressed that button twice. I'm gonna do like a different shape of vase. I don't want a one-to-one copy of the original image. I'll just copy this over and flip it. Work smarter, not harder. Whee! Then I can just do whatever squiggles I need to do. Don't pay attention to the squiggles. Once more, I will fix it in post. I actually own a vase that is quite similar in look to the one that I am currently drawing. So I may have to go get it, like, for reference, possibly. Yeah, you just lie. It's my style, actually. It's my style for the perspective to not make sense. I did get pretty good advice from one of my teachers in college where he was like, you need to learn perspective, like, just in general so that you know how it works, but if you need to fudge it, it doesn't really matter because most people will not be scrutinizing it. As long as you make it look generally believable and nothing is floating in midair, people will just believe you. You can kind of just do whatever and they'll take your word for it. So don't worry too much. Like, he took a bunch of... Like, we were learning perspective for like a solid, like, 2 weeks probably. But then at the end of that 2 weeks, he took out a bunch of panels from like really good, well done comics, and he was like pointing out all the inconsistencies in their perspective, and he was like, and nobody cared because it looked really good, and it was passable enough that they could believe it, they could suspend their disbelief. So don't like go crazy, but try. And I was like, oh, thank God. If you put enough junk in the frame, like with this, you don't need to worry quite so much about if the perspective is perfect. But you do need to put a little juice into it so that people are more willing to believe you. Yeah, it's one of those, like, you gotta know the rules, but you can break them if need be. Just make sure you look good while you're doing it. Did I say she's stabbing in the painting, or is that something to be decided? I think it's kind of to be decided. The implication is this is like my evil, horrible, cheating husband who left me or something. But I'm not 100% sure what I would really want to draw on it. I don't really have any ideas other than my joke, it's the Hat Man. Because he sure is wearing a hat, isn't he? Many things about this image are to be decided in post. Chat mascot. Did we even have like a proper chat mascot? I know I drew the silly little flashlight character and our anglerfish character. But are those like fitting for this like semi-Victorian, very dramatic image? I might feel a little silly doing that. I would be willing to if I can't think of anything else. I'm gonna copy this in just so that I don't have to go back and forth constantly and remind myself of what paintbrushes look like. Here's my proper layer. This will be probably like translucent or whatever, so I do need to actually draw them like crossing over each other and stuff. These are some long paintbrushes though, look at that. Those are crazy. This goes like all the way down here. Well, the selection didn't really help with that. This goes like all the way down here. That's nuts. You'd be painting like a foot away from the canvas. Ashley cheated me out of my mother's inheritance and drank it all away, and also stole my hamster and knocked my McDonald's meal onto the floor. No! Not my McDonald's! How could he? That villain. Some of these should also be thick. I am most definitely making this harder on myself, but I've already decided that that it's translucent and I'm not backing out now. Paint. That's the like bristle part, and then the middle bit. Ooh, metal. Yeah, it's very nice. I mean, some paintbrushes are very, like, ridiculously long, but I need to be literally this close to the canvas if I'm doing something in real life, so if I see a paintbrush that's, like, longer than, like, 4 or 5 inches, I'm like, that's crazy, that shouldn't be that long. I'm pretty sure actually, no, I might have thrown them out, because they were completely saturated with oil paint and thus useless. But I did have some pretty long paintbrushes that I had to buy for school. She could perhaps have something in the bottom of the case. That would also work. Stick some like tissue paper in there. Because you gotta have the aesthetic of your cool vase filled with paintbrushes, but also it's just inconvenient if they keep slipping to the bottom. Okay, I'll just throw one more like little sketch one in there, it's probably fine. Maybe bend this over to the side a little bit. Yay! I kinda did it, kinda. I do get very close. I was always told to like not get too close because then you get caught up in details that don't matter, but I'm blind and I refuse to wear glasses, so I ended up just being really too close to everything anyway. And also, I can't hold a drawing implement like a normal person, so the holds that I do kind of requires that I be a little closer to the canvas than is ideal. My caveman grip. My famous caveman grip. I'm gonna move some stuff down. Okay. I do not want to have too many layers. A little bottom part on that, whatever. Presumably that goes to the floor, but we're not drawing the floor. I don't think. I don't know. How big is this chest of drawers or whatever it's supposed to be? I should probably lengthen them a bit. Whoop. So that they look like they hold more stuff. Whoop. Is that looking good? It's alright, as far as I can tell. I'm gonna draw a bunch of perspective lines on this later and then get really upset at myself for being bad at perspective. It's fine for now, I think. We gotta get our drapey fabrics in somewhere. And a table. Table is important, I feel. The vague shape of the table. I hate tables. I don't know why. They're so much harder to draw than literally anything else to me. I don't know what it is about a flat rectangular prism. But they really get me, man. I think it's because all the lines are too straight. So I can tell when I've done badly. I'm kind of surprised I haven't made myself furious by listening to this music loop in the background this entire time. But I didn't really want to distract myself by putting on actual, like, playlist music or something. Then I just start jamming silently, and I would get nothing done. Whatever, vague table shape. It has legs like a table has. Wee table. Took you years to realize you were doing, you poor thing. I'm so sorry. I would have, like, uninstalled and reinstalled my drivers a million times. Because that's, like, the cure-all for any tablet issue I've ever had, is uninstall and reinstall the driver. If that didn't work, I think I might just have an aneurysm. Although I've only had tablets with like one single cord and like a pen with no connection, like a wireless pen. So I guess it's a good thing that I've never had anything with multiple cords, because I probably would have made the same mistake. Yeah, making a new layer for this big scary canvas in the background. I have seen the spaghetti noodle thing, although I've heard that apparently it's not very good for like the continued health of your tablet screen or like drawing surface, because it's more scratchy than the plain plastic. So you have to be like very careful. And I've been using just like, you know, the regular plastic nib, and my tablet currently has like a shiny spot in the middle where I've worn it away a bit by using my tablet pen too much, so I think if I did that it would just completely break through. There would be just a hole in it. They give you, unless you like get your tablet secondhand or something, which I'm sure some people do, they do give you a bunch of like replacement nibs generally, at least with all the tablets I've had. You get like probably like 10 replacement nibs. Although sometimes they're hidden in a secret little container. A couple of tablets that I had, I didn't even know that they came with extra nibs until I, like, accidentally dropped, like, this random little piece, like, 6 months in, and then I was like, oh, there's bits in here, crazy. One time I had a tablet pen where the extra nibs were hidden inside a secret compartment within the pen itself. Usually they're in like a little pen holder type of thing, like you have the pen and then you have like a little thing that you can just sort of stick the pen in, like while you're not using it so that you don't lose it, but nobody uses it and they constantly lose their tablet pens. Yeah, it was like the pen was like pen, and it had just like a little bit in here, and there were like 4 of them just stuck inside of the pen. I do not remember which tablet it was though. I've had several. I have to switch tablets a lot because technology hates me. And they often will break for little to no reason. So I've only really had to replace a pen nib like once or twice. People that actually manage to wear out their nibs must draw literally constantly, because despite the amount that I doodle and such on the computer, I really do not run through pen nibs fast enough to even consider using spaghetti noodles instead. It's fine. Everything's fine for now. Scary. Spooky, scary things on the wall. Okay. I'm getting sick of this, which means it's time for me to start doing something different. And I need to open up my color reference image thing that I have hidden somewhere. Where did I put that? There it is. But hey, this is how I organize colors for things. Okay. This is what I used this when I was making my new model. Looking good, thank you. I am attempting. Okay. I need to pick out colors that won't look bad. This is like way too bright for this particular application. It does feel a bit Victorian villain plotting schemes. That's a good vibe. This feels a little too saturated here. If I turn that down. Okay, I'm gonna just get rid of all my little writings that I did. Get out of here. What color is this actually? Okay, that is a very, very dark blue. And now it is a very, very dark brown. Oh, my skills. Let me move you. Thank you. Let's see what... That's not right. I want to see what the other colors look like if I brown them a little bit. I don't know if that actually changed it, but just to make sure. That looks pretty alright. That didn't really change that much, so I'll leave it. How similar are these colors? Pretty similar. I don't know if this is actually a good color scheme, but it's a start. And I'll probably color pick a couple of things from here, just for the vibe. What color is the white? It's probably fine. There's a whole lot of brown and orange and red in that image, which is a bit difficult for somebody who is the opposite of those colors. Am I zooming in? Just gonna throw in a bunch of colors where I think they might work, and then figure out if they actually make sense later. I really should not be fixing any of the non-filled in bits, but I am compelled. I think the arm things are kind of a little translucent, like your lace. That might be a little too light. That may perhaps work a little bit better, colors-wise. I should probably make it still a little bit more brownish though. Just not really sure what is the best shade of gray and or white. The original seems very wedding dress-esque. So I'm not quite sure what the best way to go about it is. I still want there to be enough contrast to be able to see what's happening, which is always a trouble with me. Me and my poor low contrast self. Draw some scribbles to indicate lace. Oh, I'm gonna have a bad time drawing this lace. Mayhaps the shinier bits are more actually white. Maybe something like fancy silk. That could be good. We shall see. I could also just make the image in general a little more blue instead of orange. That's not what I wanted. Select, reselect, thank you. I always get a little worried about changing like the hues of stuff too much. So then I'm like, what if it's not recognizable? But I mean, considering the entirety of the image, it will probably be sufficiently recognizable. I'll just take that all the way down to the bottom, why not? Go crazy. This literally doesn't matter. we're gonna go with it being more blue. Probably change this somewhat. I made that smaller instead of bigger. Sometimes colors are my favorite part and sometimes they're my least favorite. I hate having to like noodle around for a million years to try and figure out what the best combination of colors is. I am not skilled in color theory, I just kind of guess. I don't know if that's really doing anything noticeable. I feel like this is this just like straight gray? Yeah, I think it is. I should probably put a bit of color in that. I don't like it when anything is just like completely gray, like with no hue or whatever to it. Unless the actual thing itself is grayscale, it just feels kind of weird. What if I just made everything orange? If I turn down the opacity, it just kind of makes it purple, which is not really what I want. Let's put some eyes in there. Oh, it's like it's a face or something. Now the new PC has been partially set up. I turned it on officially for real for the first time literally last night. I had a momentary problem where when I first turned it on and it was setting itself up, it kept randomly disconnecting from the internet. so I had to turn on the hotspot on my phone to actually get it to set itself up. But then I was able to reset whatever thing was causing an issue, and it connected to the internet properly, so that was good. And the gamer lights are gamer lighting to their fullest extent. I haven't figured out how to change the color of the gamer lights on the mouse or keyboard that they gave me. I don't know if it's possible. I'll have to figure it out. And I need to download all of my everything. But generally, as a computer, it appears to work. Yeah, I've got my RGB gamer lights. Because as you all know, I'm an incredibly skilled gamer. And I totally know what I'm doing. No, I just did all of that scribbling, but I don't know if I actually like it at all. And it barely even changes anything, also. Yeah, the real test is gonna be New Vegas. Ooh, I'm afraid. But yeah, I'm gonna set up all of the other remaining stuff. Actually get my things downloaded that I need, and hopefully we should be able to start using it pretty soon. I was a little optimistic with like, oh, I'll be able to get it set up this week. Not quite, but we're almost there. I am a little sad though, the gamer lights, there's like a little remote that came with it, so that you can change the color of the gamer lights. And it has blue, but it has no yellow. They have orange, and they have white, and they have green and red and blue, and purple, but they don't have yellow, which is weird. I wanted yellow. I wanted to be able to have blue and yellow gamer lights to match me. Yeah, I do have to remember to download all the mods and stuff. That will be the first thing I do. No, yellow really is for posture. Only happened after I set that child on fire. Possibly. I mean, it was a bit wibbly before the child, but the child may have been the catalyst for the end times. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to do it. It was a misclick. Can't the child forgive me my one misclick? This is nothing. Why am I doing this? I don't need to be shading anything. This is just to figure out what colors things are supposed to be. What's wrong with me? It's the coconut DF2. Load-bearing coconut PNG. I think part of my issue is that the incredible mass of the skirt is turning my brain off. I need to delete some of that. It's too much color all at once. Freaking me out. Or not too much color, but too much single shade of gray. I am becoming distracted. Maybe I should just put a what is gradient map on it, just to see what was, ooh, the most orange, the most beige. What is this one? Why do I have these? What are these colors supposed to be? That's like zombie. Why do I have so many zombie-esque color fades? I don't really feel like any of these would do anything. That one could be something. Let me copy paste. So I forgot to do that before. Gradient map. we like just turn that way down. That looks good. The dress will probably need to be a bit lighter, but I think that looks interesting. Rock the zombie look. I don't want to be a zombie. That's for Halloween. That's for Halloween times. It's November now. It's Thanksgiving. Everybody, be thankful. I am going to change the color of the dress, but the rest of it looks pretty good color-wise, I think. At least right now, before I've done anything to the background. This is not a good selection. I am starting to get mildly overheated. Whenever I stream for too long, I start to get really warm. Every year I manage to forget about Thanksgiving. How could you? How could you possibly forget? Don't worry, every single store ever has also forgotten about Thanksgiving. It is time for Christmas. I went to Home Depot to get something the other day, and a literally giant, like, inflatable Christmas tree right out front. I was like, you guys, we have like a whole nother month. Whoa, colors. I'm turning the hue back to 0. Yeah, there aren't really any Thanksgiving musics, huh? I honestly don't think I could think of any. That's just pure white. Let's see. There's so many layers going on over here. Try to come up with a playlist and all we're real stretched. How are you is Thanksgiving related? There aren't really a lot of Thanksgiving themes other than pilgrims and food. And I don't think there are that many songs related to pilgrims and food. Maybe we could sing about ham. I'd be willing to sing about ham. If somebody comes up with a good ham song, I would cover it. Can't say that because then somebody might write a ham song and then I'd be legally obligated. The Bing Crosby one from White Christmas called Count Your Blessings. But it is from White Christmas. There are some songs that are like Christmas songs that don't really explicitly mention Christmas. They're just kind of general wintry themed. So if you wanted to, you could probably call some of those like Thanksgiving-y, because they do have generally the feeling of the season, the like be thankful vibe. There's not really a lot of material that is explicitly Thanksgiving-y though. I need to hide all of these in a layer because I'm getting stressed out looking at all those. I am just going to fiddle with this forever. Whenever I'm trying to figure out how to color something, I just end up going through the layer effects, just like one by one. That one's screen looks alright. That is a possibility, I guess. It's scary going from this to this. I'm not really measuring this out to actually the size that it would be. I just bumped my mic. But it's probably close enough to the aspect ratio that it needs to be, right? Like maybe a little longer. I'm always bad at judging the length of it instead of the height of it. But there is empty space, so I could just delete that if I want. Second folder within my folder. For a second I thought that was on like a weird layer. Please. Okay. This is less color and more value, I guess. I'll probably just end up putting another gradient map over it to make it less one color. That is not the direction I wanted that to go. Just discover that decoded is not a real. What do you mean? How can it not be a real word? It must be in the dictionary. Decrode. I've never heard this before in my life. What is that then? if that is the word that you meant. The only man that knows this word, it's so over. Remove the crows or something. I decroded it. You're safe from crows. It looks weird. Time to go through the layered things again. Just see what happens. Squishy, what were you using decroded to mean? I have to know. What did you think this word was? Old or worn down? Were you like trying to think of the word degraded, but you just borked it? You just threw in a wrong letter? Sounds like a mix of like degraded and also grody. I swear it's a real word. It's okay, Squishy. We believe you. It's definitely a real word, right, guys? Wink, wink. I feel like it looks like it's turning into a completely different hue when I can't turn down the brightness. I don't know what's wrong with that. What's wrong with me? Feels incorrect. You're already going senile. Everybody rest in peace, Squishy. Press F to pay respects, etc., etc. I do not need to be putting so much juice into that. It doesn't even matter. I'm probably gonna just throw in like a shape over here to imply that there is more of the cabinet or whatever. I mean, if you really believe in yourself, you could make it a real word. You could just say it enough that other people start, like, assuming you're correct and also start using it. And then they might add it to the dictionary, and then it's officially a real word. All words were fake words once. Some caveman just had to be really adamant that his word was totally real. And then eventually people started believing him. Apparently Decroded is using Napoleon Dynamite. So they came up with it first, huh? Wow, Squishy, I can't believe you stole their word. Open optimism restored. Is that a semi-believable vase? I don't know why I'm getting hung up on if these things actually make sense. This is not the final drawing, don't worry. I'm not doing just a scribbly little sketch and calling it a day. It's about the vibe. We're in the throw things at the wall and see what sticks section of the image. No. I hate when I accidentally have it to remove selection. But then I have to reselect all my stuff. Hey, what does this look like if I put some random gradients on it? Let's see. Ah. Scary blood red. That's just basically black. I'm really vibing with sunrise gold, apparently. That looks cool. Like, it barely changes it, but the yellow at the bottom looks interesting. The gradient maps, I would say pretty common, at least from what I've seen. Because you can, like, start with basically like a grayscale image like this. And then if you gradient map it, you can either mess around with the colors, like I can do a more specific gradient map. Let's see. I hope it actually shows up on stream. I kind of don't know if while I'm clicking through the gradient maps, because sometimes things that I think should show up don't. But like, you can pick one that's already existing. You can't see the window, but I'm clicking through a list. And you can also change the like levels of them. So like, if I want to like switch around some of the colors, I can switch them around and then they do wild and crazy things. Or I can just create one for myself, which I have a few of. Some of the zombie color ones that I made were ones that I had made for other drawings. So you can select, like, if you want everything that is black in the image to be blue and everything that is gray in the image to be like orange, and then everything that is white to be green. You can just change any grayscale tone to any color that you want, and then you can overlay them various ways and just kind of see what happens. That one looks spooky. So a lot of the time when I don't really know what to do with colors, I'm just like, throw a gradient map on it and like mess around, see what occurs. I've seen some people like basically do their entire image in grayscale so that they make sure that they have the tones and stuff correct, and then they'll just like fiddle around with the gradient map until everything is exactly the color they want it, and then just like do a little bit extra editing to make sure it looks neat. It's one of the advantages of drawing on a computer. You can just make it figure out the colors for you. That's scary. That's evil. But it is a lot of clicking through menus and just kind of seeing what happens. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna actually get anywhere with this. That one looks interesting though, because it's like changed some things to purple. I'll keep that there as a possibility. What does this one do since I have it? Turn everything black. Great. If you have one where they're all too similar, then sometimes you just end up with the entire thing turning black or white, or like close to it. Oh, looks interesting. I've accidentally done something that looks cool, I think. And then usually if I find something I'll copy it just in case, and sometimes fiddle around with it some more, or just like merge all the layers so that it's just one, and then paint over it or whatever I need to do. I have never been very good at colors and stuff, so I like just trial and error it until I find something that I think looks interesting. Yeah, technology. Truly is incredible. And then after I do this, I can like tonal correct and like change hue and saturation and all the other stuff. And just see if something happens that looks cool. There's more efficient ways to go about it, but for me it's a lot of clicking buttons and hoping something shows up that I like. I'm not really sure if that actually looks good, but I just kind of want to put that color somewhere so I remember what it is. I'm throwing something up here because I basically completely forgot that that was there. I did a lot of gradient map hypocoloring for my last video, because there were a bunch of background color changes and I was like, I'm not coloring all that individually. So I just found whatever the main color of something was, like the main color of the scene. I was like, okay, it's red now, it's green now. Especially since they only showed up for mostly just a few frames each. So I was like, I'm not putting all the effort into it. It's about efficiency. And it still took me way too long because I kept getting distracted with other things while I was working on that one. Still not sure if this is anything. What does this look like if I do different things to it over the original? See? I love clicking through menus. I don't think any of these will really do anything revolutionary, but I feel like I should check. Just in case something ends up looking cool. That one looks kind of cool, actually. But not really as a proper background or anything. I'll leave it the way it is. I'm not sure if I can mentally handle actually completing this on stream, considering how late it already is. And how much work anything even approaching this level of detail will be. But, I mean, it's a good enough base. I know where everything is. I just need to throw some stuff up on the walls. Look up, like, some Victorian home interiors or whatever. I need to do research, you guys. I have to put in effort and time. Oh, I hate it when I do that. I hate it when I trick myself into putting in effort and time into things. I should also probably figure out a way to put the orange in somewhere. I don't want it to just be the eyes and nothing else. think I'm gonna say that I'm probably done for now. There's some stuff up on the decoded wall. I mean, hey, it's pretty good for not knowing what I'm doing. I will put as much juice into this as I possibly can before the end of the month, I guess. It's a good thing I already have my stuff all recorded, and probably the video won't be too difficult, I don't think. Because it is only going to be the one image with probably just some little tweaks for effect or whatever. Yeah, it's a strong baseline. That's the important part. I need something to work off of. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Okay, I am going to go to sleep so that I don't get sick again. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll probably play a game or something. I don't want to just draw more because it will just be a bunch of me sitting silently. Thank you for hanging out. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see what happens. You know, big shrug. I never know what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out. And I will see you. Good night, goodbye. Good night, goodbye. Good night, goodbye. Good night, goodbye.